Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Make sure. All right, let's get this started. Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Devon Phillip of D Siemens Photography. I did a shoot last Sunday, and I just want to go through some lighting setups that I did, and also my train of thought, like what when I look at the picture, what I see and what needs to be edited. So I'm gonna go through that real quick. And this is a fashion shoot. I did this outdoors Sunday, starting around 4 o'clock. So I'll try to go through the lighting setups that I went through. I used one strobe outside with natural light, and that's just to give things a little bit more, give it a pop, give it a feel. And then also, once we go through that, then I'll show you a before and after of just a quick edit that I did in Lightroom. I'll let you know what software I'm using, what editing tips I may have for that image, and we'll get started with it right now. So, as I flip the screen, we'll go through each lighting setup that I went through that day. And right now I'm using Lightroom. This is Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom 5, I believe. And with this, it's very good software. Even if you don't want to do a lot of Photoshop editing and a lot of get real in depth in the picture, Lightroom is a nice way to, you know, get the feel of the picture before you even go into Photoshop. So first scene, we'll start with the one up here. This is the model we had, and this is outside. This is around 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock on Sunday. Actually, more about 5 after makeup and she got styled. This is around 5 o'clock on Sunday, and there's a light here. Now, as you can see, this is daylight, but she's in the shade because of the trees. So I added one light, a light source on this side of her right side, your left, and it's just hitting her just a little bit, just to add a little highlight on this side of her body. Now, you may ask why, if it's natural light, if it's daylight already outside, why still bring a strobe? Why still bring a flash? Now, when you use a flash outside, it changed the feel. Yes, natural light is enough to capture the image, but you add a little bit more of a highlight to the picture. You add a little bit more feel. If you can see, like if you look at the hat up here, you can see the highlight from the flash hitting her on this side. So a lot of times I love working in the studio. I love working in the studio. I love controlling light. I love to manipulate light, the way it hit the models and stuff like that. I love that. So why not? I mean, there's no rule saying that you can't do it outside. So as you can see in this picture right here, the back of her, you see the shadows. There's a little shadow there because she's in the shade now. She's in the shade right now, but there's still a flash. The flash is sitting her right here on this part of her body, and it adds a nice feel. And even when you want to take this in Photoshop and you want to dodge and burn, and you want to contour and all that stuff, it helps with that too. But I feel it makes it pop a little bit more than it would usually if it was just daylight. And it was sunny that day too on Sunday. But since she's in the shade, it would have been even shadowing. It would have been no harsh lines or anything like that. But I still wanted to make it pop a little bit more. I didn't want her to blend in with the background, and because a lot of times when you try to expose for both the background and the foreground and the subject, you have a perfectly exposed subject, but your background is overblown, and it goes into the clippings of the highlights. So this is really good way to use strobe or a flash, or maybe you have a speed light or on camera speed light you could use and hold in your hand. So this is the first setup, and right here too you can see the highlight. You can see the highlight right here on her body, and I feel it makes it, it adds a little bit more to it. It adds a little bit more. So that's the first image. Now this image is a little bit different. Let's see if I can go in. So this is without, I think this is just with the camera flash on camera. And I did this so you can see behind here is the sun. It's about maybe, I think it was going like 6, 7 o'clock, and the sun was beginning to set behind this building over here. And I wanted to use the sun as a strobe. I wanted to use the light, especially the light that's coming from the sun is a nice, rich, like golden color. So to use this light as a backlight for the model would have been real nice. So that's exactly what I did. So with the sun hitting her back, she get the highlights from the back from the sun, and then I would just use the same one lighting setup and just light the front, just light her. So it began like this, and the reason I wanted the sun, I wanted to bring in these clouds right here, the clouds in the back. I wanted to use that as part of the scene, and I would just light her. And you know, with shadows, even though I have some shadows here, once you bring that into Lightroom, because I'm shooting raw, you can always bring shadows back. Shadows is no biggie to bring back. You always bring the shadows back. But my focus is having the sky. I didn't want it overblown. I didn't want it to go in clipping to the highlights. So this is another lighting setup. You use the sun out there. You use the sun, and it's golden hour. It's perfect time to have the sun. A lot of times when it's like high noon, the sun is harsh shadows and stuff like that. But because of the golden hour, is a really good time to use the sun. And the last setup I did was natural. The sun was going down. The sun was going down. It was natural light, and I just used that. The street lights came on. It was perfect. It was no need for me to use any other kind of light modifier with it. It was just me and just the natural light, the natural ambient light. And because of this, I had to change my settings on my camera, of course. I had to get a slower shutter speed and handheld it, and so because it's natural light, ambient light, it was a little bit more difficult to capture the shot I want, but overall, it was good lighting. And then we even had opportunity to go in one of the buildings. Thank you. We have an opportunity to go in one of the buildings, residence, and take some photos there as well. And it was really good. As you can see, some of the residents was watching and like, what is she doing? But it was a really good shoot. Now, one of the pictures, I took the liberty of editing one of the pictures from that shoot, and it's the one with the natural light. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And once again, I'm using Lightroom. This is Lightroom 5, part of the Adobe Suite. And it's a really good software, especially if you're. Wait, hold on, let me get it. Which one is it? It's develop. Okay, so this is the before image, and I took the liberty of editing this software already. I'm editing this picture already. This is the before image, and my whole thing of the shoot is fashion, it's commercial photography. I wanted to have that commercial look, so this is the before image. What I did is I just made it pop. I did some color casting, added some yellows, some reds, some magenta into the picture, and then we got this. Now, there's a big difference. You can see it pops more, it's more welcoming. There was no need for me to take it into Photoshop. It's a very good picture. Um, it was a natural light that I used for this, and I took down this highlight a little bit. I added some yellows, some greens. I made that red pop a little bit more. I added a little bit of vibrance to the picture. It came out very good, and this is it. That's it. There's no need for me to go and take this in Photoshop if I had to maybe shape it or change anything else with the picture. But this is what is satisfying right now. So with Lightroom, you have your sliders, and you really, everything is self-explanatory. It's like if you're using your Instagram app to edit a picture, and you could just start with this and start seeing what you like and what you don't like until you get a feel and get a feeling of completion once you finish the picture. So thanks, guys, for whoever's watching. Make sure you watch the rebroadcast. Free to follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, DC Image Photos. That's also my website as well. It's DC Image Photos, just how it is, and that's photos with an S. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to write a comment or a critique. Anything is possible. And check